It is that time of year where we all have a lot of parties to go to, we have events, we need to look good for them, okay? And it's a festive time of year. But to be honest, a lot of the Christmas makeup that I see is just too much. I feel like the everyday girl just wouldn't wear these makeup looks. And honestly, whenever I've tried to do a super glam Christmas party makeup look, I just don't feel confident and I don't feel like myself. So that's why I created this look for you guys. This is halfway between like a natural look and a glam look. This is like a wearable, soft glam look that will look flattering on anybody. It's not that hard to do. You'll look amazing in person and you will look amazing in any photos that are taken during the event that you're going to. If you want to know exactly how I did this makeup look, keep on watching. The key to having your skin not look heavy in person, in my opinion, is to not go in with a super heavy base right off the bat. This is my technique for skin. So I'm going in with the Milk Hydro Grip Gel Tint. I am using the shade 2. And you can use any skin tint that you like. I really like this one because it is very hydrating and it actually like clings to the skin, so it lasts all night long if you have an event to go to. Also, if we are shade twins, this is such a good match for me. I just like to pick a little bit of this up on my finger and warm it into my skin and just kind of like get a rough spread going. And then I go in with my foundation brush, which I will link down below. I'm gonna link everything down below. And then I just start to press that into the skin, melting it right in. And as you can see, it does give a really nice even coverage to the skin without looking heavy. It's got a bit of a satin finish, so it also looks like skin. For me, when I wanna look good both in person and in photos, I want my skin to look really healthy looking, even, and I do like to have a little bit of a healthy glow. This skin tint does all of those things. You're gonna see why I chose to go with a skin tint instead of foundation in the next step. Okay, so the skin is looking nice and natural, healthy glow, evened out. But now I do want to add a little bit more coverage so I do get that perfected look in person and in photos. And in order to do that, you need a full coverage concealer. However, a lot of people struggle, especially if you have fine lines or like wrinkles. Heavy concealers can really settle in and just kind of age you, or they can not wear very well throughout the night, or they could just kind of look heavy. This concealer has been really impressive to me. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer, and I'm applying this pretty sparingly. A little bit goes a long way. I'm going under my eyes, around my mouth where I have some discoloration, over any blemishes, a little bit in the center of my forehead to brighten things up, on my nose, and then I'm just blending that out with a concealer brush. What I love about this concealer is that it gives me intense coverage, very perfecting coverage, while still looking actually quite natural and skin-like, and it wears a really long time throughout the day. And I find this one doesn't settle into my fine lines like other concealers do. I've really struggled to find a good high coverage concealer that I find doesn't just like accentuate all the things I don't want it to accentuate, like texture, lines, you know. And I really don't hear a lot of people talking about this, and I truly don't know why. By the way, I am wearing colored contacts right now. They make my eyes look a little bit more green, but they look like so natural in person, and they're comfortable. A lot of colored contacts are not comfortable, or you can like see them in your peripheral vision. These don't do that. I'm gonna link the exact color that I'm wearing down below in case you're interested. Okay, so you might notice everything looks a little flat right now. We're missing dimension in the face. So to add dimension, I'm going in with the Sachu Contour Stain. This product has a really interesting applicator, and I've never actually tried this before, so I'm curious to see how it performs. So sometimes these products with these applicators are kind of gimmicky and they're hard to blend out, but I actually found this one pretty easy to blend out. I could have probably applied a little less product because it is quite pigmented, but it blended out nicely. I think the color is quite nice too. It's not too cool, it's not too warm, it's a nice contour color. I applied this a little bit higher than the natural hollow of my cheek. This is just going to give me a bit more of a lifted look. And yeah, I'm curious to see how long this wears for throughout the day, so I will definitely keep you guys posted. All right, so our face has that definition. Now I want to add a bit of color to the cheeks. Blush just makes me feel alive, and it really makes me feel so pretty. I never skip blush. I'm going in with the Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks in the shade Garçon. This color almost looks like the way your cheeks look when they naturally flush. It's definitely got a bit of a reddy tone to it, but it's not too red. Like, it's not overpowering. This formula is also really nice. I love the Westman Atelier cream blushes. Honestly, to me, my cheeks get a little red when I'm cold, so this is like the perfect I'm cold blush, and I feel like it goes with anything you wear on the face. Do you see what I mean? I just love this blush color. It goes with cool tones, it goes with warm tones. You can wear like no makeup, you can do more glam. It's just so pretty. All right, so I do want to kind of just let the creams marinate, as I often do. So I'm going to set my face. I like to set before powders because to me, when you set powders, sometimes I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose. Unless you've over powdered, then you can set it and it'll kind of make things chill out a bit. I'm going in with the PatMcGrath Longwear Blurring Setting Spray and just applying a nice layer of that to the face. For eyes, I want to do something simple yet effective, timeless, you know? I feel like we can be well-intentioned with the very glam eye makeup, but a lot of the time, and this is just me, when I go in with really heavy eye makeup, I don't feel pretty. I feel overdone. I don't feel like myself. So for this eye makeup look, I want to look like myself, but I just want it to look super flattering. Not too much, but accentuates me in all the right places, you know? This is the perfect Christmas makeup palette, and it's actually very affordable and so good for the quality. This is the Morphe Moonstone eyeshadow palette. These are beautiful colors, mostly cool toned. I'm so excited to create today's look with this palette. I'm gonna start off with this brown shade right here. This is like a more neutral brown, and I'm picking that up on a Refer 01 brush. This allows me to be pretty detailed and precise, but also gives me that airbrushed, very blended out effect. And I'm going to define my crease with this eyeshadow, but I'm not dragging it out too far up towards my temples. I'm keeping it kind of contained and like subtle. And I'm just taking my time to build up that color until I'm happy with it. I'm pretty much focusing that on my outer V and then just kind of like fluffing it towards the inner corner a little bit just to define and contour my crease. I'm also going to drag this along the lower lash line, just using that same brush because you can be pretty precise with this brush. This eyeshadow color also just so happens to match that contour color we applied perfectly. I want a really bright mobile lid, so I'm going to go in with this color right here. This is a nice creamy white shade. And I'm just going to be packing that onto my lid using a flat concealer brush actually, and I'm just taking my time with that, building up the intensity. I'm also taking that into my inner corner. I love a bright inner corner highlight. And I'm going a little extra on the inner corner than I normally do because I feel like there's something about a bright inner corner that looks very like wintry and Christmassy. For a little more definition, I'm going to mix these two shades together on a small detailed blender brush. And I'm just very lightly defining my outer V a little bit more. You want to be so light-handed with this, and you really want to tap off the excess shadow from your brush. This eye makeup is pretty much flattering on anyone. The eyes are defined, they're natural, they're wearable, and now we're going to add a bit of drama. You can choose to go super dramatic or a little less dramatic, which is what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going for a bit more of a soft, natural, but still glam vibe, if that makes sense. I'm going into the PatMcGrath Permagel Ultra Glide Eye Pencil, and this is in the shade Extreme Black. I'm just putting a little bit of this on the outer corner of my eye, and I'm taking a small angled brush and just diffusing that and really getting the shape perfect. The key is applying very little eyeliner. You can always apply more. I really want this to look quite natural, and I don't want to go overboard with it. And you guys know my motto, you can always apply more. It's a little harder to take away, especially when it comes to black eyeliner. So my advice to you is less is more. Apply a little less, build up slowly, take your time, get that perfect shape. It will be worth it. Eyeliner is one of those things that you really want to get right, especially if you have an event or you have pictures or something like that. I like the way this looks. You could totally leave the liner like this, but I want to kind of soften it and make it a little bit more smoky. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the black shade in this palette, and I'm just going to so softly run that along my lash line right on top of that liner. I don't want to make this too blown out or too dark. I just want to smoke this to make it look a little bit more just softer and more effortless almost. And then to finish off the liner, I'm going to take that same pencil we used earlier, and I'm just going to put that in my tight line. This is going to make the lashes look longer. It's going to make the eyes just look super complete, make your eyeliner look really nice and black, so there's no more gap between your eyelid and your liner. For mascara, I'm going in with my Tower 28 Make Waves mascara in the shade Jet. I'm just going to apply one thin, even coat of this to the top lashes only. I like this mascara because it's not too volumizing, but it gives you good volume, good length. It's just a really nice, well-rounded mascara. I also love the curved wand. I love a curved wand. Do you guys ever go through a phase where your lashes just go through a weird like growth cycle or something and they just don't look good for like a few weeks or a few months? I don't know, or is it just me? I feel like my lashes are going through a weird phase right now, and I'm looking forward to when they go back to normal. I don't know what is going on. Okay, so hear me out. If you're going to a party or an event, I don't think the look is complete without a little lashes. So whether that be strip lash or individuals like I'm applying today, I just think you need a lash. I'm going in with these Own Beauty Essentials lashes. These are so pretty. These are the 0.2 cluster mix lashes. And I'm just sticking a couple 12 millimeters on my outer corners and then a couple 10 millimeters closer to the inner corners. Now that the eyes are complete, I'm going to add some finishing touches to the face. I'm going in with my Dior Forever Glow Maximizer in the shade Pearly. And this is definitely more of like a frosty highlight, very Christmassy vibes, honestly. And I'm just applying a little bit of that to the top of my cheekbones. I really want to look nice and glowy. look at the way that highlighter catches the light. It's definitely more like frosty than what I would normally reach for, but because this is a Christmas party glam, I just think this is so perfect. This would look really pretty on the eyes as well. I'm just using a liquid highlighter brush to press that into the cheekbone, and I'm also lifting it a little bit onto my brow bone here. I don't want my skin to look super matte. I do want to strategically highlight though so that the makeup stays in place where I need it to stay in place. I'm going in with the PatMcGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Under Eye Powder in the shade Light. My concealer tends to crease under my eyes, so I'm applying a little bit of powder under my eyes as well as around my mouth. Obviously, when you're going to a Christmas party, you're going to be eating, drinking, all the things, and your mouth does move a lot, so I do like to powder around the mouth area just to keep everything in place. For the lips, I want red, but I don't want like garish red. I want the red to look very natural and wearable and not crazy. I also feel like a lot of people are a little intimidated by red lipstick, so I'm gonna give you a non-intimidating red lip combo. I'm going in with the L'Oreal Lifter Liner in the shade Peaking, and I'm overlining my lips, really focusing that in the center of my Cupid's bow and on the center of my bottom lip as well. Overlining in the centers of the lip just give the lips a taller appearance so they look more plump and pouty. I also love these liners by Maybelline because they last through anything. They're so long wearing but so creamy. For the lipstick, I'm going in with this Prada Soft Matte Lipstick, and I'm just tapping that onto the lips. I'm really just building it up until I'm happy with the intensity. You can go pretty intense with this or you can go pretty chill. I've got this lip built up to about a medium intensity and I'm happy with it, but you could definitely do a little bit lighter, sheer it out with your finger, or you could really build up the color and get a more intense shade. When I wear a red lip, I always like to add a gloss, so I'm going in with my makeup brand. This is my Cheris Cosmetics Water Gloss, and I'm just applying a layer of this right on top of that red lip. This lip gloss goes with any lip combo, honestly, and it just makes your lips look like glass. It also has a slightly cooling feeling, and it really does fill in all the lines in your lips so that your lips look really nice and smooth. Do you guys see what I mean? This lip combo is just not super intimidating. I don't know, I find it to be quite wearable, but let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of my Christmas glam? I wanted it to feel done up enough to feel special for an event or a party, but I wanted it to be a bit more natural than a lot of the typical Christmas makeup I've seen. What do you guys think? Would you wear this look for a Christmas party? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.